Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome to all the devotees to our weekly Bhakti Vaibhav classes. So in the last few weeks, we have been discussing about Dhruva Maharaj, starting from chapter 8, how Dhruva Maharaj, being insulted by his stepmother, being inspired by his mother, and also instructed by Narada Muni, went to forest and performed tapasya for 6 months and attended Lord Darshan, offered wonderful prayers, returned home. Then his father, stepmother, everyone welcomed him very nicely. Then father trained him very nicely until he reached 16 years old. Then father made him as a king, and father himself went to forest to perform vanaprastha duties. Then Dhruva Maharaj ruled for was ruling. He also got married. He also got children. But his younger brother Uttama, before he could get married, he went to hunting. In that hunting, somewhere near to Himalayas, he had to fight with one Yaksha, and Yaksha happened to kill him. Hearing this, Dhruva became very angry, and he went to the place where Yaksha stay, searching for that Yaksha who killed his brother for no reason. But in order to protect that one Yaksha, the entire Yaksha community came forward and had fought with Dhruva. And there is a huge war. The war was going beyond one's control, and Dhruva was killing in thousands all the Yakshas. 1,30,000 Yakshas are fighting with one Dhruva, and he became very angry and was killing indiscriminately. Then Swayambhu Manu came and restricted Dhruva, stopped him. No, this is not befitting. Being born in our family, in our dynasty, and you being a devotee and had already darshan of the Supreme Lord at the very early age. And how can you do this out of anger? For what purpose? Try to understand who is the cause of death. Apparently, the immediate cause may be Yaksha, but there is a distant cause, there is ultimate cause. Understand all these things. The distant cause being karma, and ultimate cause being the Supreme Lord. So, so don't become so emotional, don't become so angry, and stop here. Whatever you have done, that is okay, but don't do more. So Dhruva heard patiently, and finally he said that, see, because you began to fight with Yakshas and you started killing them, you have offended the Lord and Master of the Yakshas, that is Kuvera. And Kuvera is considered as younger brother by Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva does not keep quiet if something is happening to his younger brother. And if Lord Shiva comes, his entire entourage will come. So it is going to go in a big way. So before that could happen, please stop here. It is good for you and good for our entire dynasty. So like that Swayambhu Manu says. Then Dhruva, what was the response of Dhruva after hearing the instructions of Swayambhu Manu? Let us see now. Since when he was offering prayers to Supreme Lord after he had darshan, Dhruva also clearly told, I just want the association of your wonderful devotees. Because he prayed to the Lord, Lord facilitated that particular thing. So now his own grandfather, Swayambhu Manu, one of the 12 Mahajanas, one of the greatest devotee, had to come and instruct him in a crucial junction of his life, what to do and how to do. And now let us see what is the result, what is the effect of these teachings in the life of Dhruva. This chapter talks about all that. So in that way. Now this is the final chapter of Dhruva Maharaj pastimes. So in the 12th chapter, there is a description about how Dhruva Maharaj received benedictions from Kuvera. Now he is going to get blessings from Kuvera. Instead of getting anger, if he continued the war, he would have received the anger or wrath of Kuvera. But since he stopped listening to Swayambhu Manu, he will receive blessings from Kuvera. And then went back to his city. He worshipped the Lord through performance of sacrifices, and having renounced everything, having made his son as the next king, he went to Badrikashrama, performed Vanaprastha duties, then went back to the abode of Lord Vishnu, that is Dhruvaloka. So these are the few things which are mentioned in this chapter. So there are about 52 verses are there. So we'll try to go through. मैत्रेय उवाच
मैत्रेय उवाच
ध्रुवं निवृत्तं प्रतिबुद्ध्य वैशशात्
ध्रुवं निवृत्तं प्रतिबुद्धया वै ससाद
अपेतमन्युं भगवान् धनेश्वरः
अपेतमन्युं भगवान् धनेश्वर
तत्रागतश्चारणयक्षकिन्नरैः
तत्रागतश्चरण्या यक्ष्य किन्नरै
संस्तूयमानो न्यवदत् कृताञ्जलिम्
संस्त्रियमानो न्यवदत् कृताञ्जलिम्. Translation. The great sage Maitreya said, "My dear Vidura, Dhruva Maharaj's anger subsided and he completely ceased killing yakshas. When Kubera, the most blessed master of the treasure, learned this news, he appeared before Dhruva. While being worshipped by Yaksha, Kinnaras and Charanas, he spoke to Dhruva Maharaj, who stood before him with folded hands.
Mm. So, listening to the words of Swayambhu Manu, after the departure of Swayambhu Manu, Dhruva completely stopped fighting. Then the news went back to Kuvera. So, hearing this news, that means till now Kuvera is also aware what's happening outside the palace. So now he comes out. Learning that Dhruva's anger has subsided and he had ceased killing, Kuvera appeared, praised by Charanas, Yakshas, Kinnaras, and then spoke to Dhruva, who stood with folded hands. As soon as Kuvera came out, some of his followers, singing his glories, such as Kinnaras, Charanas, Yakshas, they all followed him. And seeing Kuvera is coming out, Dhruva offered full dandavat and then got up and stood in front of him with giant palms. So, like that. So, now Kuvera will respond. Bobo Kshatriya Dayada
भो भो क्षत्रिय दायाद
Paritushto Smite Naga
परितुष्टोऽस्मि तेन गा
Yatvam Pita Mahadadesha
यत्त्वं पिता महादेशाद
Vairam Duscha Janatyaja.
वैरं दुष्ट्यजम् अत्यजः. The master of treasure Kuvera said, "O sinless son of a Kshatriya, I am very glad to know that under the instruction of your grandfather, you have given up your enmity. Although it is very difficult to avoid, I am very pleased with you."
Hmm. O son of a warrior, Kshatriya Dayada. O sinless one, O Anaga, I am very much pleased with you because you have given up hatred, which is very difficult to give up, on the instruction of your grandfather. That means I am very much pleased with you for your surrender towards your grandfather. Because you have surrendered to your grandfather, even though it is very difficult to give up anger, you have given it up. So, in that way. Na bhava navada, na bhava navadid ikshan.
न भवान् अवधीयश्च
नयक्षा भ्रातरं तव
न यक्षा भ्रातरं तव
काल एव हि भूतानां
काल एव हि भूतानां
प्रभुरप्ययभावयो.
प्रभुरप्ययभावयोः. Actually, you have not killed the yakshas, nor have they killed your brother. For the ultimate cause of generation and annihilation is the eternal time feature of the Supreme Lord.
So now Kuvera says some simple understanding. So you have come all the way here looking for the killer of your brother, but actually in reality, and you start killing yakshas for that. So in reality, you did not kill the yakshas, and the yaksha did not kill your brother. Nayam hanti na hanyate. The soul never kills and never gets killed. So same thing here it says. Then who is doing all these things? Time is the master of destruction and creation for all beings. Kala evai bhutanam prabhur apyaya bhavayo. Kalosmi lokakshekrit pravruddho. So it is the time which causes birth and death. So in that way. So basically it's trying to point out to ultimate cause. The ultimate cause is the Supreme Lord in the form of time. It is He who is doing everything. Maya adhyakshena prakriti suyate sa charachara. So in that way. Aham tvam iti aparta. Aham tvam iti aparta dhi.
Aham tvam iti aparthadhi.
Ajnanat purushasya hi.
Jnanat purushasya hi.
Swapni va bhati. Swapni va bhati atadhyanat.
Vapni va bhati atadhyanat.
Yaya bandha viparyayo.
Yaya bandha viparyayo. Misidentification of oneself and others as I and you on the basis of bodily concept of life is a product of ignorance. This bodily concept is the cause of repeated birth and death, and it makes us go on continuously in material existence.
So one thing is ultimately everything is happening and the super will of the and the supreme will of the Supreme Lord. The supreme will of the Supreme Lord is time. That means everything is happening under the supervision of time. Then if you go a little deeper, it is from ignorance. From ignorance, from absorption in the body, man's intelligence, thinking of I and mine, like a dreamer, by which bondage and suffering arise, becomes useless. It is due to ignorance we fall into the concept of bodily conception, I and mine. As a result of that, we say that he killed me, I am killing him, he killed my brother, I am killing him. So this aham mameti concept is due to ignorance. And in that ignorance, whatever one does is all like a dream. And in the dream, one only experiences suffering. So in that way, it is mentioned here. Atadhyanat means from thinking only of the body. From this arises samsara. Those who are only thinking about the body as oneself, samsara arises. Then there is karma bandhan. And the opposite of the jiva's knowledge and bliss, ignorance and suffering, will manifest. The jiva in its constitutional position, the jiva is Sat Chit Ananda. But when we identify with the material body, we become Asat, means temporary. Because the body has a birth and body has a death. And we think that I am born, I am dead, which is not the nature of the soul. It is only the nature of birth and death belongs to only the body. Because we are identifying ourselves with the body. So there is Achetan, Asat. It is not permanent, it is temporary. And Chit, full of knowledge, and Ananda, full of bliss. But in this condition, there is only ignorance and suffering. This is what happens. So bodily identification is the cause of all difficulties. That is understanding. So now, he further, Kuvera further says, having stated two philosophical points, then he says, Tadgaccha Dhruva Badram te
तद्गच्छ ध्रुव भद्रं ते
Bhagavantam Madokshajam
भगवतम् अदोक्षजम्
Sarvabhutatma Bhavena
सर्वभूतामभावेन
Sarvabhutatma Vigraham
सर्वभूतामविग्रहम्
Bhajasva Bhajaniyangrim
भजेष्व भजाति भजात्यां गृहम्
Abhavaya bhavachidam
Abhavaya bhavachidam
yuktam virahitam shaktya
yuktam virahitam saktya
gunamaya mayaya.
Gunamaya. Translation. My dear Dhruva, come forward. May the Lord always grace you with good fortune. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is beyond our sensory perception, is the super soul of all living entities, and thus all entities are one without distinction. Being therefore to render service unto the transcendental form of the Lord, who is the ultimate shelter of all living entities. Engage yourself fully, therefore, in the devotional service of the Lord, for only He can deliver us from this entanglement of materialistic existence. Although the Lord is attached to His material potency, He is aloof from her activities. Everything in this material world is happening by the inconceivable potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Hmm. So he's going to talk about some of few philosophical points, and then he says, "Please go back." So in that way, he's speaking. So basically, the point is the ultimate philosophical point is that neither you are killer nor the excess are killers. It is the time who is doing creation and maintenance. But the talk of killing, you killed me, I killed you, all these things are because of bodily identification. Only the body gets killed. The soul, no one can kill the soul. So in that way. Now he says, therefore go, Dhruva. Tad gaccha Dhruva. My dear Dhruva, please go home. Let there be good fortune to you, Bhadramte, to attain the Lord who has no material existence, while thinking all beings as equal to oneself. Worship the Lord beyond the senses, who is the form of all beings, the destroyer of samsara, whose feet are worthy of worship, and who, though endowed with the material Shakti, composed of gunas, is unaffected by it. So now he says that. So not that you go home and simply eat and sleep, not like that. Go home and worship the Lord once again. Just like you worship the Lord when you are small child, 5 6 years, and you are darshan of Supreme Lord. Same thing. Forget about all these mundane wars, battles, and all. Please go back and worship the Supreme Lord. Why? How to worship the Supreme Lord? So in order to worship the Supreme Lord, consider that the Lord has no material existence, and also consider that all the living entities are equal to Supreme Lord. Sarva Bhuta Atma Bhavena. Thinking all beings as equal to oneself. Sarva Bhuta Atma Bhavena. Just like you think about yourself, your welfare, think about others' welfare also as your welfare. So in worshiping the Lord, this is required. And then the Supreme Lord who is situated beyond the senses, Adokshaja, who is free from all, who is the form of all beings, it is who expands as all living entities. Mamai Vamsho Dhruvaloka Jivabhut Sanatana. Sarva Bhuta Atma Vigraham. All the living entities are nothing but the manifestation of Supreme Lord. And it destroys the samsara, Bhavachidam. And his feet are worthy of worship, Bhajaniya Angrim. And though in spite of endowed with material Shaktis, in spite of entering into material world and touching the material time, still he remains indifferent to everything. So like that. So these are the various attributes of Supreme Lord. The knowledge about Supreme Lord is being indicated. And please go home and worship that Supreme Lord. Like that. He is reminding Dhruva what he was doing in the childhood to do it once again. So like that. Sarva Bhuta Atma Bhavena means with the thought that all beings are like oneself. Then Sarva Bhuta Atma Vigraham means the Lord's form is all beings. Atma Vigraham means the form of the Supreme Lord is in the form of all living because Paramatma is there in everywhere. So in that way. Abhavaya means in order to attain the Lord who has no birth and death. Abhavaya, Bhava means birth. Abhavaya means the person who has no birth and death. That is Supreme Lord, Sanatana. He is joined to Maya because Maya is his Shakti. For the purpose of material creation, he glances upon Maya, but he is indifferent to the three modes of Maya. He is detached from Maya because uh, that Shakti is not his Swarupa. Maya Shakti is not Lord Swarupa. That's why he is indifferent to Maya Shakti. He glanced, but then he remains indifferent. So these are various attributes of the Supreme Lord. Next, he further says, Vrinihi kamam rupayan manogatam
Grini kamam nupayana manogatam
mattasvamauttana vishankitaha
atastam autanapade visankitaha
varam varaho bhujanabapadayor
Barambaraho ambuja navapadayor
anantaram tvam vayamanga shushruma.
Anantaram tvam vayam anga susruma. My dear Dhruva Maharaj, son of Maharaj Uttanapad, we have heard that you are constantly engaged in transcendental loving service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known for his lotus navel. You are therefore worthy to take all benediction from us. Please therefore ask without hesitation whatever benediction you want from me.
So now finally, in order to bid farewell, he says, so I am being the one of the 8 Lokapalas, my audience should not go in vain. Ask for a benediction. O king, O son of Uttanapada, please ask for me any benediction in your mind without hesitation. We, Vayam, who should give you benedictions, have heard that you are very close to the feet of Supreme Lord. Because I want to offer you benediction, because I understood that, I heard that you are very dear to Supreme Lord. You have pleased the Supreme Lord at the very young age. So it is our fortunate situation that we have some opportunity to bless you in some way. So like that, he is telling. Anantaram means without obstacle, very close. So Dhruva Maharaj, in the childhood only, he had the close darshan of the Supreme Lord. So that one. So Kuvera came out of the city and received obeisances of Parikshit Maharaj, then killed him, and sorry. So Kuvera came out and out Dhruva. He spoke to Dhruva. He expressed gratitude that thank you very much for stopping all the battle. So now he spoke some philosophical point that you are not the killer and your brother is not killed by the Yakshas. Instead, everything is happening by the will of the time. And whatever we say, it is all because of identity with the body, I and mine. As a result, what we say. Instead, go home and worship the Supreme Lord just like you worshipped him during childhood. Because the Supreme Lord is only worthy of worship. All the other attributes of Supreme Lord are mentioned. But anyway, before going home, please ask for a benediction. I am eager to offer some benediction because you are very close to, very dear to Supreme Lord. So, when Kuvera requested him to ask for a benediction, the great devotee Dhruva of high intelligence asked that he should have fixed remembrance of the Supreme Lord. Sorry, so now, what was the desire was asked by our Dhruva? What did he ask? What kind of desire he expressed? What blessing he sought from Kuvera? Whenever we also have any opportunity, we should also ask this kind of benediction. So, Maitreya Uvacha
Maitreya
Uvacha
Sarajaraje Navaraya Chodito
Sarajaraje Navaraya Chodito
Dhruvo Mahabhagavato Mahamatihi
Dhruvo Mahabhagavato Mahamati
Harau Savavre Chalitam Smutim Yaya
Haro Savaure Chalitam Smritam Yaya
Tarati Ayatnena Duratyayam Tamaha.
Taratya Ayatnena Duratyayam Tamha. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, when thus asked to accept a benediction from Kuvera, the Yaksharaj, the king of Yakshas, Dhruva Maharaj, that most elevated pure devotee, who was an intelligent and thoughtful king, begged that he might have unflinching faith in and remembrance of Supreme Personality of Godhead. For thus a person can cross over the ocean of nations very easily, although it is very difficult for others to cross.
Ah. Now it is said that when Kuvera offered a benediction, so what did Dhruva ask? This is very much important. All of us also should ask this such kind of benedictions whenever we go in front of a big person. When Kuvera requested him to ask for a benediction, the great devotee Dhruva, who is of high intelligence, Mahamati, asked that he should have fixed remembrance of the Lord. Sa harau achalitam smriti. He said that, let me never ever forget Lord Vishnu. Instead of asking like that, let me have fixed remembrance of the Supreme Lord. Let me always remember the Supreme Lord, by which he could cross the insurmountable ignorance of material existence. Yaya tarati duratyayam tamaha ayatnena. Without much effort, I can very easily cross over this material existence if I can remember the Supreme Lord always. So he is not asking for wealth, he is not asking for the rulership, he is not asking for the kingdom, he is not asking for gold, this, that. He is asking for, please give me that benediction of always able to remember the Supreme Lord, which makes sure that one will cross over the insurmountable ocean of material existence. So what to speak of that? Even much higher than that is one attains Krishna Prema. So this is the benediction all of us should eagerly sought after from the great souls. Raja Rajena means who exists in all people, who resides with the king. This refers to Kuvera. So Raja Rajena is the Kuvera who is blessing Dhruva, who is the one who is willing to bless Dhruva. And Dhruva asked Kuvera that let me always remember the Supreme Lord. Sa harau achalitam smriti. Let there be hari smriti, but that is achalitam without disturbance. Constant hari smriti. Why constant hari smriti? The only this one. Tarati ayatnanena duratyayam tamaha. It is very difficult to cross over this ignorant mental existence, but that becomes very easy for one who continuously remembers the Supreme Lord. It's like that. So what did Kuvera do? So Dhruva asked this. Tasya pritena manasa.
तस्य प्रीतेन मनसा
Tam datta tam datvai
तस्य प्रीतेन
datvai
मनसा
tam datvai vidastata
विदासत तं दैव विदासतः
पश्यतो अंतर्ददे सोपि
पश्यतोऽन्तर्ददे सोऽपि
स्वपुत्रं प्रत्यपद्यता
स्वपुत्रं प्रतपद्यत स्वपुरं प्रत्यपद्यत. Translation. The son of Idavida, Lord Kuvera, was very pleased and happily he gave Dhruva Maharaj the benediction he wanted. Thereafter he disappeared from Dhruva's presence and Dhruva Maharaj returned to his capital city. Hare Krishna.
So, pleased with Dhruva, Kuvera, the son of Idavida. So, Kuvera's father is Idavida. I think there is some mistake here. So Kuvera is the son of Idavida. That's why he's called as Idavidaha. Gave him the remembrance of the Supreme Lord and then disappeared as Dhruva watched. Dhruva then returned to his city. So Kuvera blessed Dhruva that he should have Achalitam Smrutihi of Ari. And then, as a result of that, he will be able to cross over this insurmountable mental existence very easily. After blessing him like this, then Kuvera went back to his palace and Dhruva came back to his kingdom in Bittur, Brahmavarta. Ata yajata yajnesham.
अथा यजत यज्ञेशम्
Kratuber dakshinai.
तेरभूरि दक्षिणे
Dravya kriya devatanam.
क्रिया देवतानां
Karma falapradam.
karma phalam pradam. Translation. As long as you remain at home, Dhruva Maharaj performed many great ceremonial sacrifices in order to please the enjoyer of all sacrifices, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prescribed ceremonial sacrifices are especially meant to please Lord Vishnu, who is the objective of all such sacrifices and who awards the resultant benedictions. Hare Krishna.
By sacrifices and profuse charities, Kratubir Bhuri Dakshina, he then worshipped the Lord of Sacrifice, who facilitates actions related to material ceremonies and devatas, and who gives results of sacrifices, karma phalapadam. So basically, he came back from the Alakapuri, the abode of Yakshas. After coming back, as instructed by his grandfather, and as instructed by Kuvera, he continuously take care of the kingdom and serve the Supreme Lord. But how did he take care of the kingdom and serve the Supreme Lord? He continuously performed sacrifices in order to worship the Supreme Lord and also to bring the prosperity for all the citizens. And also, he gave profuse charities. So, being a king, he should give charity for the welfare of the people and Brahmanas in general, etc. etc. So, in this way, he spent his rest of life continuously performing sacrifices and performing charity. These are the two important things of the king. So, we may think that king means sit on the throne and give punishments. No, that is not the king. King is the one who continuously performs yajna, dana, tapa. For the prosperity of the kingdom, he performs yajna, and for the prosperity of Brahmanas, he performs dana, and for his own spiritual progress, he performs tapasya. These are the three important things, important duties of a king. So he is doing all the things, and fight is only when necessary, not always. So then, why he is worshipping the Lord with sacrifice and giving charities? Because it is the Lord as the protector of the entire universe. He facilitates the performance of the actions in relation to matter and fire sacrifices, and also in relation to the devatas, dravya karma, kriya karma, and deva karma. So whatever we do, all our activities are somehow or other connected to these three things. Dravya means our day-to-day material maintenance ke liye we deal with matter and we do things like activities in relation to matter. And once in a while we execute sacrifices, yajna here and there, etc. And also we worship devatas. We kind of express our gratitude to devatas because devatas are providing everything that we need. So there is a consideration of respecting, expressing gratitude to devatas and all, etc. etc. So these are the things which are being done generally. So Dhruva used to perform all these things as a king. It is a duty. It is to make sure that he himself does, and he engages everyone also in these duties. So he's doing all these things. Dravya Kriya Devatanam Karma. Karma Phalapradam means the Lord alone creates the activities related to ingredients, rituals, devatas, and he alone creates the results of all these activities. It is the Lord who gives us all the activities. It is the Lord who gives us the result of all our activity that we perform. So ultimately, it is the Lord who takes care of everything. That's why it's called maintenance. So maintenance means making sure that we are doing what we are supposed to do, and we are making sure that we are getting what we are supposed to get for what we have done. So that is maintenance. So the king, being the representative of Supreme Lord, also makes sure that all these things are being done properly by himself and also by the citizens. So this is how the universe is being maintained and things are going on, etc. etc. And for whatever we have done, so it is the Lord who will make sure that the results are coming. The results are coming through via devatas or via some immediate local agent, or it is whatever it is. But it is the Lord who makes that who supervises that whatever one is supposed to receive and they are receiving. So that Lord should be worshipped, and that Lord is continuously worshipped by Dhruva by the performance of yajna and by giving charities. So for one's own spiritual progress, one should be doing all these things. Yesterday evening we were discussing in the Saturday class. There are 6 duties for a Brahmana and 5 duties for a Kshatriya. Out of 6 duties, 3 duties are for spiritual progress and 3 duties are for day-to-day survival. So for spiritual progress, the 3 duties were Ijja, Adhyayana and Dhanani. The Ijja means either deity worship or performance of yajna, and Adhyayana is study of the Vedic literatures and following Vedic literatures, and Dhana, giving charities to the Brahmanas. So these are 3 activities for a Brahmana or a Kshatriya or Vaishya for their spiritual progress. They should continuously do deity worship or yajna, or and they should perform. They should continuously study the literatures, and they should give charities. These are the activities for spiritual progress. And then for their livelihood, a Brahmana should Brahmana 3 duties are there. So what are the 3 duties? Brahmana can teach the Vedas, Vedic literatures, Shastras, and a Brahmana can perform yajna or can perform deity worship for others, where he will get some dakshina, some remuneration for one's own personal maintenance. So same way, by teaching also one gets guru dakshina, that is also for one's own maintenance. So in that way one is maintained. So then by accepting charities, a Brahmana can also accept charity. Here 3 means: one is accepting charity, one is teaching Vedic literatures, other one is performing yajna or performing deity worship for others. So in that way one gets paid, one gets remuneration, one gets survived. So same way, in the case of Kshatriya, their primary occupation is they need to protect people and collect taxes. That taxes are for his own welfare. And in case of emergency, they can teach the Vedic literatures and they can also do deity worship, but they should never ever take charities. That is for Kshatriyas. And for Vaishya, the main occupational things are cow protection, agriculture, and trading, business, etc. etc. And in emergency, they can also perform yajna. They can also do deity worship, and they can also teach Vedic literatures, whatever they know, but they should not accept charity. So like that, the duties are there for survival. So in any case, here, since he is a king, for his own spiritual progress, he should perform sacrifice and he should give charity. He should study Vedic literatures. So that Vedic literature study is not mentioned, but other 2 are outwardly done, so they are shown here. Hare Krishna, all of you are able to follow? Any questions till now?
No questions following.
Okay, thank you. So now The principally 24/7 he was always engaged in spiritual worship with the supreme lord only, but as a king he is also doing some activities for the welfare of the people in general. So in that way we have to see this. Sarvatmani achyute sarve
सर्वात्मनि अच्युते सर्वे
तीव्रौघां भक्तिमुद्वहन्
तीव्रोघां भक्तिमुद्वहन्
ददर्शात्मनि भूतेषु
तदर्श आत्मनि भूतेषु
तम् एवावस्थितं विभुम्.
तम एव अवस्थितं विभुम्. Translation: Dhruva Maharaj rendered devotional service unto the Supreme, the reservoir of everything, with unrelenting force. While carrying out his devotional service to the Lord, he could see that everything is situated in him only, and that he is situated in all living entities. The Lord is called Achyuta because he never fails his prime duty to give protection to his devotees. Hare Krishna.
Engaged in intense bhakti, Tivra bhakti, Udvahan, to the infallible Lord, the soul of all beings, Sarvatmani Achyute, who is different from all others. He saw the Lord alone situated in all beings and in himself. So while doing all these things, only seeing the Supreme Lord in every, when he is giving charity to somebody, he is only seeing the Supreme Lord. Tavara Jangama Deki Nadeki Taramurti, Sarvatra Prasara Hoibe, Ishta Deva Spurti. Yo Pashyati Mam Sarvatra Sarvamcha Mai Pashyati. So the Dhruva Maharaja had come to this platform of seeing the Lord in everywhere and everything. So whatever he is doing it as an offering to Supreme Lord. So in that way. So especially here it is said that he saw Lord alone situated in all beings and within himself. He is seeing the Supreme Lord everywhere, whatever he is doing and with whomsoever he is speaking. So in that way. Kings perform sacrifices to please the Devatas and Brahmanas. Without doing so, the king's work cannot be accomplished. Performance of sacrifice and giving charities are very essential for a king. In compliance to that, his likeness alone performed these actions. In actuality, he did not have time for all such things that is expressed in this verse. So even within the core of the heart, he is always want to serve the Lord. But since he is a king, he need to do kingly duties. But even though when he is doing all the kingly duties, he was not doing them as a duty. He is doing in everything whatever he does, he is only seeing the Lord. If when he is giving charity to somebody, he is seeing only the Lord. So it is as if he is giving charity to Supreme Lord, something like that. He performed bhakti to the Lord, who is the soul of all beings, Sarvatmani, who is different from all others. Even though he is the soul of all living entities, the Paramatma of all living entities, not all living entities different. By power of his mature meditation, Dhruva saw the Lord within his heart and externally in all beings. That Supreme Lord who is situated in the Paramatma in the heart of every living entity, and Dhruva is able to perceive that. He is seeing Paramatma within his own heart, he is seeing Paramatma in the heart of each and every living entity, and hence he sees everyone as the Supreme Lord. So like that. That's how he spent his rest of life serving as a king. Tamevam Shila Sampannam. Hare Krishna, someone please repeat.
Tameva Sila Sampannam
Brahmanyam Dena Vasalam
Manyam Dina Vasalam
Goptaram Dharma Setunam
Tam Dharma Setunam
Menire Pitaram Paja.
Hare Patiram Raja Prajaha. Translation. Dhruva Maharaj was endowed with all godly qualities. He was very respectful to the devotees of the Supreme Lord and very kind to the poor and innocent. And he protected religious principle
With all these qualifications, he was considered to be the direct father of all the citizens. Correct.
The citizens considered Dhruva the protector of the rulers of Dharma. The protector of the rules of Dharma, who was endowed with all good qualities, who is respectable to the Brahmanas, and who is affectionate to miserable people, to be their father. Because Dhruva, for the welfare of all the people, he was continuously performing sacrifices and he was continuously giving charities. As a result of that, every person in the kingdom considered Dhruva to be their kind father. Because it is the only kind father will facilitate everything that is required by the children without being they asked. Before they could ask, the father provides everything they need. Similarly, Dhruva Maharaj is providing everything they need, even though they never asked for it. That's why they all treated Dhruva, respected Dhruva as their own father, because Dhruva is taking care of all of them, just like a father takes care of the children. So this kind of thing is happening between the people in the kingdom of Dhruva and between him. So how long he ruled like that, the entire kingdom? Shatrimshad Varsha Sahasram. हरे कृष्णा प्लीज समवन इतना लोग है कोई तो रिपीट कर लो
सत्रिंशद्वर्षसाहर्षम्
शशासाक्षितिमण्डलम्
शशाशातिमण्डलम्
भोगै पुण्यक्षयं कुर्वन्
भोगै पुण्यक्षयं कुर्वम्
अभोगैरशुभक्षयम्
भोगैर ashubhashayam. Translation: Dhruva Maharaj ruled over this planet for 36,000 years. He diminished the reactions of pious activities by enjoyment, and by the practicing austerities, he diminished inauspicious reactions.
So desiring to decrease his pious results by enjoyment. Bhogai punyakshayam kurvan. Bhogena punyam. Punyakshayam. Whatever punya he accumulated, he wanted to exhaust that. How is he exhausting it? By bhoga. By accepting the opulences. He is exhausting his piety. And destroy his sinful reactions by austerity. Abhogair ashubhakshayam. Punyakshayam is by bhoga. Ashubhakshayam is by abhoga. Abhoga means performing austerities. Tapasya, voluntary tapasya. By voluntarily restraining the acceptance of luxurious things, Dhruva destroyed, matlab, Ashubha. So actually, Dhruva does not have any Shubha or Ashubha, but it is to teach all of us. And thinking himself to be low, Dhruva would do all these things just to teach all of us. And with that kind of lifestyle, he ruled the earth for 36,000 years. Shat Trimshad Varsha Sahasram. The entire Bhumandala, Akshiti Mandala means the entire Bhumandala was ruled by Dhruva Maharaj by 36,000 years. Not 1 day, 2 day, 1 year, 2 year, not 5 years. 36,000 years. Shat Trimshad matlab 36. Sahasram means 1000. 36 times 1000 years. So like that. He destroyed sinful reactions by vrata and sense control. Abhoga means following some vows, vratas, and sense control, mind control. He would do all these things, saying that no, I'm very sinful, I need to do all these things. He So here some technical details are there. Basically, the meaning of the verse is desiring to destroy sinful reactions by vratas and destroying pious reactions by enjoyment. Dhruva ruled for 36,000 years. So, what is the meaning of this verse? Desiring to destroy sinful reactions by vratas and destroying pious reactions by engaged in enjoyment, Dhruva ruled for 36,000 years. So he is ruling, but while ruling, he is constantly thinking that I should not be bound by my pious activities or sinful activities. So with that thought, he is doing. So in order to nullify his pious activities, accepting the opulences, in order to nullify the sinful activities, sinful reactions, he is performing austerities. Actually, he neither have piety nor impiety, but he is doing it just to set an example to all of us. However, this desire to destroy reactions is exhibited out of humility. Actually, he did not have any pious or sinful reactions since he had already developed prema. Dhruva Maharaj had already developed prema before he could have the darshan of the Supreme Lord. So like that, he continued to rule the kingdom with a thought of Bhogena Punyam Kushalena Papam, accepting the opulences, I will exhaust my piety, performing vows, vratas, charities, yajnas, all these things, I will remove my sinful reactions, thinking that he would do all these things very vigilantly, continuously, properly. So then in the next 2-3 verses, he'll further say what Narayana will do. So Dhruva, so details will be mentioned about what are further activities of Dhruva. Evam bahusavam kalam
एवं बहुसवं कालं
Mahatma Vichalendriya
महात्मा विचलेन्द्रिया
Trivargaupaikam Nitva
त्रिवर्गौनौपैकं नीत्वा
Putra Putrayadan Rupasanam
पुत्रयादान् नृपासनम्
Manyamana idam Vishwam
मन्यमाना इदं विश्वम्
Maya Rachitamatmani
माया रचितमात्मनि
Avidya Rachita Swapna
अविद्या रचिता स्वप्ना
Gandharva Nigaropamam
गन्धर्वा नगरोपमम्. Translation. The self-controlled great soul Dhruva Maharaj thus passed many years favorably executing three kinds of worldly activities, namely religiosity, economic development, and satisfaction of all material desires. Thereafter, he handed over the charge of the royal throne to his son.
So, passing many years suitable for enjoyment of Dharmartha Kama with undisturbed senses, the great devotee Dhruva, realizing that this universe made by Maya is like Gandharva city, manufactured in dream, caused by ignorance in oneself, handed over the throne to his son. So basically, Dhruva ruled for 37 years, understanding that okay, enough is enough. I should not be attached to this world. He made his son as the next king, and he went to Badrikashram to perform the duties of Vanaprastha order. Now, while the Grasa is taking care of the kingdom, now he has to go to Vanaprastha order and perform austerities to go back, come back to Godhead. He passed many years suitable for enjoyment of Dharma, Artha, Kama. Since it is made up of Maya, the universe is real. So even though Maya is the energy of Supreme Lord, the entire universe is made up of Maya. As a result of that, the universe is actually real, but it is temporary. However, by ignorance within the self, it appears unreal and is thus compared to a Gandharva city in a dream made by ignorant. Gandharva city means illusion. Just like a magician creates a illusory city. So like that, one may say that this entire world is like an illusion. It is all like a dream and all like that. But actually from Vaishnava Siddhanta, it is understood that since the universe is also created by Lord's energy, Lord is real, Lord's energy is real, the universe is also real. But the only difference is that this material universe is temporary. It does not exist eternally. The spiritual universes are eternal. That is the difference. So then, how did he renounce? So he made his son as the next king, Vastara, I suppose. Then how did he renounce? Atmasri apatya suhrudo. Sorry, 16 now. आत्मस्त्री अपत्य सुहृदो बलं रुद्धकोशम्
आत्मस्त्री अपत्य सुहृदो बलमृद्धकोशम्
अंतःपुरं प्रविविहार भुवश्च रम्या
अंतःपुर परिविहार भुवश्च रम्यः
भूमण्डलं जलधिमे कलमाकलय्य
भूमण्डलं जलधिमे खलमाकलय्य
कालोपसृष्टमिति सा परयौ विशालम्
कालोपसृष्टमिति स प्रययौ विशालाम्. Translation. Thus Dhruva Maharaj at the end left his kingdom, which extended all over the earth and was bounded by the great oceans. He considered his body, his wives, his children, his friends, his army, his rich treasury, his very comfortable palaces, and his many enjoyable pleasure grounds to be creations of the illusory energy. Thus, in due course of time, he retired to the forest in the Himalayas known as Badarikashrama. Hare Krishna.
Considering that the body, wives, children, friends, military powers, treasury, female quarters, beautiful parks, and the whole area surrounded by the oceans, Bhumandalam Jaladi Mekalam, would all be destroyed by time, Kala Upasrishtam. He went to Badrikashrama. So he considered that one's own body, wives, children, friends, military power, treasury, the female quarters, beautiful parks, even the entire Bhumandala consisting of 7 Dvipas surrounded by 7 oceans, it is all going to destroyed by time. It is not an eternal thing. It is not a permanent thing. There is no point in being attached to all these things. So giving up all those things, he went to Badrikashram to perform Vanaprastha duties. Some duties connected to Vanaprastha order in order to get detached from this entire world and to go back to Godhead. Considering that all things were affected by time, he left for Badrikashram. Dhruva went to Badrikashram to perform his Vanaprastha duties. So then what happened in Dhruva Badrikashram? While he was executing all the Vanaprastha duties are explained in text number 17 to 35, during which a Vaikuntha Vimana will come and take Dhruva to the abode of Lord Vishnu. So like that. So let us see. So what kind of austerities Dhruva was performing in the Badrikashram? Tasyam Vishuddhakarana Shivavarvigaya
तस्यं विशुदाकरणा शिवावरविघाय
भद्वासनं चितमरुन् मनसा हृताक्ष
वासनं चित्तमरुन्मनसारतक्षा
स्थूले ददार भगवत् प्रतिरूपयेतद्
स्थूले ददार भगवत् प्रतिरूपयेत
ध्यायंस्तदव्यवहितो व्यसृजत् समाधौ
ध्यायांस्तद अव्यहितो वसजत् समाधौ. Translation. In Badrika Ashrama, Dhruva Maharaja's sense became completely purified because he bathed regularly in the crystal clear purified water. He fixed his sitting position by yogic practice, controlled the breathing process and the air of life. In this way, his senses were completely withdrawn. Then he concentrated his mind on Ashtavigraha form of the Lord which is exact replica of the Lord, and thus meditating upon him, entered into complete trance. Hare Krishna.
So, since it is Satya Yuga, the process recommended was yogic methods, Dhyayato, Kritaya Dhyayato Vishnu. So, Dhyana was the procedure recommended during Satya Yuga. So, now Dhruva, what kind of Bhakti Dhruva performed in the Badrikashram is being mentioned. The 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga are very nicely described in this one shloka, starting from Yama all the way up to Samadhi. Purifying his senses there, he bathed in the pure water. So bathing in the pure water is niyama. Purifying the senses means restricting the senses, not allowing senses to wander here and there. That is yama. Yama means control. Niyama means follow certain rules. So every day taking bath in that waters of the pure rivers in the Himalayas. And then asana. He sat in the proper position and controlled his breathing, pranayama. Withdraw his senses by the mind, pratyahara, and concentrated on the substitute form of the Lord, the universal form. Because till now he was a king. For last 36,000 years, he was a king. He was ruling over the entire kingdom, supervising what's happening all over, etc., etc. That means he had been supervising and vigilant about what's happening in the kingdom, and that means he is constantly aware of the entire universe. He was always thinking about the universe. So now he was told to meditate upon the universal form, the universe being a form of the Supreme Lord as a Dharanashraya, so that slowly his knowledge of the universe as the material locations, as this country, that country, this area, that area, all these things, eventually the entire thing will be transformed into the form of the Supreme Lord. Then he can meditate on the Paramatma feature in the core of the heart. So as a Dharana Shraya, the object of meditation during the Dharana state, first he meditated on the universe at the universal form, and then he meditated on Paramatma. Then Dhyana. So then meditating continuously on the actual form of the Lord, then Dhyana. He then gave up the universal form in Samadhi. Eventually, by meditating on the Paramatma form of the Supreme Lord, he had come to the platform of Samadhi. And he gave up the meditation of universal form. So like that, starting from Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. So Yama is controlling the senses, Niyama is taking bath, Pranayama is Asana is sitting in proper position, Pranayama is controlling breath, Pratyahara means withdrawing the senses from external feeding, and Dharana is meditation on the universal form, and then meditation on the Paramatma completely. Dhyana is meditating on the Paramatma from limb by limb, starting from lotus feet to lotus head. We have seen all these things in third canto. And finally, unwavering continuous meditation on Supreme Lord is called as Samadhi. Here come to Samadhi platform. The Ashtanga process is described, starting from Yama all the way up to Samadhi. He practiced Dharana on the universal form. He then meditated on the actual form of the Lord without interruption and situated in Samadhi, gave up that gross universal form. So like that. So in this way, in no time, not like you took many years, for maybe few weeks or few months, he had come to Samadhi. So that was the procedure recommended during that time, and he followed it. And coming to Samadhi means Smaranam, constant meditation on the Lord's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. That is called Smaranam. So we are also practicing Bhakti now. Shravanam and Kirtanam we are doing every day without fail. We are hearing Bhagavad Katha, we are reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and we are chanting Harinam. We are also participating in Kirtan and also taking darshans of the Lord and serving in whatever capacity is possible. All these things we are doing because one day we have to come to the platform of Smaranam. So when we do Smaranam at the time of death, we will come back to Godhead. So to be in Smaranam at the time of death, we need to be practicing in how to be in Smaranam. So that is sadhana. Same thing is happening here. Dhyana means Smaranam, meditating on the Lord's Nama, Rupa, Guna, Lila. And before that, there are so many other steps like that. Having come to Samadhi, then what did you do? Harau Bhagavati Pravahanna Jasram. Hare Krishna.
Bhakti
Haro Bhagavati Pranah
Ananda Bhashpakalaya Muhurardhyamana.
Ananda Vasakalya Muhur Adhyamana
Viklidyamana Hrudaya Pulakanchitango.
Vidya Klidayamana Hridaya Pulakancitango
Natma namasmaradasau iti muktalinga.
Atma Atmaradav Aso Iti Muktalinga. Translation. Because of his transcendental bliss, incessant tears flowed from his eyes, his heart melted, and there was shivering and standing of the hairs all over his body. Thus transformed in a trance of devotional service, Dhruva Maharaj completely forgot his bodily existence and thus immediately became liberated from material bondage. Hare Krishna.
Have
Prabhuji, we can't hear you.
No voice, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Now you are able
now
to
we
hear
can
me?
hear. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can't hear you.
No sound, Prabhuji.
Hari Bol, can't hear you, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, we are not able to hear. Hare Krishna.
Net issue, I think so.
He could not
Prabhuji, you are not audible.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, we are not able to listen you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Mataji.
Yes.
Yes, Mata.
Mataji, kindly one of us can we call Prabhuji and tell? Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
हरि बोल प्रभु जी.
माताजी हम में से एक फोन करके बताएं प्रभु जी को.
आप कौन कर रहा
हरे
है?
कृष्णा.
आप बताइए.
हाँ ठीक है.
आप बोलिए प्लीज.
ठीक है माताजी.
Hare Krishna. Now you should be able to hear me.
Yeah,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
now
Prabhuji.
we are
Okay.
able to listen.
Yeah, hereafter there will be no issue. So what I was discussing is the previous verse states that by practicing Ashtanga Yoga, Dhruva had come to Samadhi state. On the other side, from Bhakti point of view, Adav Shraddha, Tata Sadhusanga, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivrutti, Nishta, Ruchi, Asakti, Bhava, Prema. So obviously, he must have come to the Prema platform. So having come to Prema platform, having passed through Bhava platform, the symptoms of Bhava and Prema manifested in Dhruva. How it is manifested? There is constant tears of bliss, and his heart was completely melted. Hairs were standing on the end, and he could not remember his body and senses because he is completely freed from the bodily identification. So these are the symptoms of having come to Samadhi state or having come to Bhava and Prema state. All these symptoms immediately manifested in Dhruva Maharaj. Out of obligation, Dhruva performed yoga for 2 or 3 days to respect proper conduct of yogis present there. Actually, he did not have any time for yoga because he is already in prema, bhava, symptoms of bhava and prema are already manifesting in him. So, what kind of yoga he can do? But as a matter of fact, just to respect the things that are recommended, he did it. The cause of his symptoms was not yoga. He had become free from bodily identification. The cause of all these symptoms is he had come to the prema platform. Not because Ashtanga Yoga is these symptoms manifested, but he has come to prema platform. All these symptoms manifested. Dhruva simply was showing the common people the process of karma yoga for householders and Ashtanga yoga for renounced persons. When he was the king, he was performing all the yajnas and he was giving all the charities and all this, taking care of all the people very nicely. That is to set an example as a karma yogi. Yadyad acharati shresha tatatyeva itro jana. Now in the forest, vanaprastha duties, it is as per the time, as per Satyyoga, it is recommended that one should do dhyana, Ashtanga yoga. So just to respect that ashrama, he followed that. Otherwise, in the core of his heart is already in prema platform, and the symptoms of bhava and prema were manifesting throughout his body. So like that. That also is doing just to set an example. Yadyad acharati shrestha tatateva hitarojana. So in this way, Dhruva began to manifest the symptoms of bhava and prema in no time, having come to Badrika Ashrama. Then, as he was completely experiencing the ecstatic symptoms of bhava and prema, suddenly from the sky, one Vaikuntha Vimana was coming towards Dhruva. Sadadarsha Vimanagram. Hare Krishna. Nabaso Avatara Dhruva.
Nabaso avatar Dhruva
Vibhrajayad Dashadisho.
Rajaya Dasa Disho
Rakapatim Ivoditam.
Patim Ivoditam. Translation: as soon as the symptoms of his liberation were manifest, he saw a very beautiful aeroplane coming down from the sky, as if the brilliant full moon were coming down, illuminating all the 10 directions.
As he was manifesting the ecstatic symptoms of bhava and prema, the aeroplane was coming down, and Dhruva seeing the aeroplane, how it is coming down, it descended from the sky, illuminating all directions, like the rising moon. Like on the full moon night, when sun sets, it's completely dark, but after some time the moon rises. It is fully bright. Same way, the Vaikuntha Vimana was coming towards Dhruva. Tatrānudeva pravarau chaturbhujau.
तत्राणुदेवा प्रवरौ चतुर्भुजौ
Shamau Kishorau Anunambujekshanau.
श्यामौ किशोरौ अरुणाम्बुजेक्षणौ.
स्थितौ अवष्टभ्य गतां सुवाससौ
Stitau avastabhya gadam swasau
किरी
suvasau
किरीटहाराङ्गदचारुकुण्डलौ
kiritaharangadcharu kundalau. Dhruva Maharaja saw two very beautiful associates of Lord Vishnu in the plain. They had 4 hands and a blackish bodily luster. They were very youthful, and their eyes were just like reddish lotus flowers. They held the clubs in their hands, and they were dressed in very attractive garments with helmets and were decorated with necklaces, bracelets, and earrings.
Yeah. So the description of 2 Vaikuntha Vasis who are there in the Vaikuntha Vimana are described. In the airplane, Dhruva saw 2 persons, the best of Devatas, Deva Pravarau. How they are appearing? Dark complexion, Shamau, youthful, Kishorau, Santam Vayasi Kaishore. Just like Lord Vishnu, all the Vaikuntha Vasis are always at the age of 16 years old. They can never grow beyond that. And Chaturbhujau with 4 arms and reddish lotus eyes, Aruna Ambuja Ikshanau, with fine clothing, Swasasau, Pitambara, wearing crowns, necklaces, bracelets, and beautiful earrings, Kirita Hara Angada Charu Kundalau, and holding clubs. And basically, Shanka Chakra Gada Padma, they are Chaturbhujauna, they are holding, supposed to hold all the paraphernalia, like the Lord. So, this is the description of the 2 personalities. विज्ञायताम्बुत्तमगाय किङ्कराौ
Vijñāyatau uttamagaya kinkarau
अभ्युत्थिता साध्वस विस्मृतक्रमा
abhyuttita sadvasa vismrita kramaha
न नाम नामानि गृह्णन्मदुद्विषः
nanama namani grunan madhusvishaha
पार्षट् प्रदानौ इति संहताञ्जलि.
parshad pradhanau iti samhatanjali. Dhruva Maharaja, seeing that these uncommon personalities were direct servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, immediately stood up. But being puzzled in hastiness, he forgot how to receive them in the proper way. Therefore, he simply offered obeisances with folded hands and chanted and glorified the holy names of the Lord.
Understanding that these servants of the Lord were his principal associates, he stood up but forgot the proper order of worship out of bewilderment. Dhruva simply offered respects and chanted the names of the Lord with folded hands. So when Dhruva saw them with 4 hands, wearing Pitambara clothes and holding Shankachakra, Gada Padma, Kirita, Keyura, all these things, he understood that okay, these 2 are associates of Lord Vishnu. Because previously he had darshan of Lord Vishnu. They are same almost. Out of confusion, he forgot the sequence of worship. That he just chanted the names of the Lord, saying Jai Narayana, Jai Gopala, Jai Govinda, and offered full Dandavat obeisances. That's how he received them and worshipped them. Then, receiving Dhruva's worship, what did the Vishnu Dutas do? Tam Krishna Pada Binivishta Chetasam.
Tam Krishna Pada Vinivishta Chetasam
Baddhanjalim Prashraya Narma Kandaram.
Paddanjalim Prashraya Namra Kandaram
Sunandananda Upashrutya Sasmitam.
Sunandananda Upastraya Sasmitam
Pratyuchatu Pushkaranabha Sammatau.
Pratyuchatu Pushkaranabha Sammatau. Dhruva Maharaja was always absorbed in thinking of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. His heart was full of Krishna. When the 2 confidential servants of Supreme Lord, who were named Nanda and Sunanda, approached him, Smiling happily, Dhruva stood with folded hands, bowing humbly. They then addressed him as follows.
The esteemed servants of the Lord, Sunanda and Nanda, who came, Jayavijaya did not come. Nanda and Sunanda came. Smiling, approached and spoke to Dhruva, who stood with folded hands and bowed head, absorbed in the feet of Lord Krishna. The Nanda and Sunanda, the airplane came down. It landed on the landed nearby area, and Nanda Sunanda came down and came all the way up to Dhruva, and was just offered obeisance and got up and with folded hands he put his head down, and they came close to him, and they began to speak to Dhruva. Sunandanandau uchatuhu
Sunandanandau uchatuhu
Bobo Raja Subhadram te
Bobo Rajan Subhadram te
Vacham no Vahita Shrunu
Vacham no Vahita Shruno
Ya Panchavarsha Tapasa
Ya Panchavarsha Tapasa
Bhavan Devam Atirpit Atitrupat.
Bhavan Devam Atitrupat. Nanda and Sunanda, the two confidential associates of Lord Vishnu, said, Dear King, let there be all good fortune unto you. Please attentively hear what we shall say. When you were only 5 years old, you underwent severe austerities, and you thereby greatly satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
O King, all good fortune to you, who please the Lord by austerity. When you were 5 years old, attentively hear our words. So they are telling that Nanda Sunanda spoke to Dhruva. Let there be all good fortune to you. You have pleased the Supreme Lord by your austerities in 6 months at the age of 5 years. So now please listen. By saying good fortune to you, they indicate that he would attain the Lord's abode in his present body. Tasya kila jagaddatur
Rashya kila jagaddatur
Avam devasya sarangina
Avam devasya saranginaha
Arshadaviha sampraptao
Arshadavyaka sampraptau
Netum tvam bhagavat padam.
Netum tvam bhagavat padam. We are representatives of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the creator of the whole universe, who carries in his hand the bow named Saranga. We have been specifically deputed to take you to the spiritual world.
So they are telling that. So Dhruva, you remember at the age of 5, you went to forest, performed austerities and pleased the Lord, and you had darshan of the Lord. Afterwards, what happened? The Lord blessed that you will rule the kingdom for 36,000 years. Afterwards, you will come to my abode. Now the time has come. You have ruled the Bhumandala for 36,000 years. Now you have come to Badrikashram. Now it is time for you to travel to the abode of Lord Vishnu. We associates of the Supreme Lord, creator of all the universes and holder of the Saranga bow, have come to take you to the abode of the Lord Vishnu, abode of the Supreme Lord. Netum tvam bhagavat padam. The Vishnu padam, the abode of Lord Vishnu, you have to come. So we have come here to take you there. Then they speak about the glories of Dhruva's achievement, what Dhruva achieved, that entry into Vishnu padam, it is not attained by anybody in the past. Sudurjayam Vishnu padam jitam tvaya.
Sudurjayam Vishnu padam jitam tvaya.
Yasurayo prapya vichakshate param.
Yasurayo prapya vichakshate param.
Atishtat chandra divakaradayo.
Atishtat chandra divakaradayo.
Graharkshatara pariyanti dakshinam.
Grahakshara Pariyanti Dakshinam. To achieve Vishnu Loka is very difficult, but by your austerity you have conquered. Even the great rishis and demigods cannot achieve this position. Simply to see the supreme abode, the Vishnu planet, the sun and moon and all other planets, stars, lunar mansions, and solar systems are circumambulating it. Now please come. You are welcome to go there.
So Nanda Sunanda are saying that you have attained the abode of Lord Vishnu, which is difficult to achieve, which the Devatas see but cannot attain. All the Devatas who are located in Swargaloka and Bhurloka, they can see Dhruvaloka, just like we can see Dhruvaloka, but they cannot attain complete entry, permanent entry in Dhruvaloka. That is not possible. Please come there and stay there. Now onwards, Dhruvaloka is your residence. The abode of Lord Vishnu is your residence, and in future it will be known as Dhruvaloka. The moon, sun, and other planets, the constellations and stars, they circumambulate that supreme place clockwise direction. So every day we see that sun rising in the east and setting in the west, and next day morning again sun rising in the east and setting in the west. Similarly, the moon and all other stars and all other planets, they are also doing travel like this, rising and setting like this continuously. So apparently we see that they are rising in the east, setting in the west, but actually they are doing pradakshina of Dhruvaloka. Just like in the morning Mangalarati, we do pradakshina of Tulsi Maharani. Similarly, all these luminaries in the Bhurloka and Swargaloka, they continuously do pradakshina of Dhruvaloka, the abode of Lord Vishnu, every day making one round. So like that. The Devatas and the seven sages, without attaining that place, look at it from below. The moon and other planets turn around that abode of Dhruva or abode of Lord Vishnu. So they keep offering respects by doing pradakshina around him. So in that way. Anastitam te pitribir
Anastitam te pitraber
अन्नेरपि अंगकर्हि चेत्
Anyer api angakar karhichit
आतिष्ठ जगतां वन्द्यम्
Atishta jagatam vandyam
तद्विष्णो परमं पदम्.
Tadvishno paramam padam. Dear King Dhruva, neither your forefathers nor anyone else before you ever achieved such a transcendental planet. The planet known as Vishnu Loka, where Lord Vishnu personally resides, is the highest of all. It is worshipable by the inhabitants of all other planets within the universe. Please come with us and live there eternally.
O Dhruva, stay in that supreme abode of Lord Vishnu, a place not achieved by your forefathers or any others, which is worshipped by the whole universe. So they are telling that please come to that abode of Lord Vishnu, which is seen by all luminaries, all devatas, but they cannot attain it as a permanent residence, but it is only you attend it. So please come there and stay there, which is the supreme abode of Lord Vishnu, a place not achieved by your forefathers or any others, which is worshipped by the whole universe. Because Dhruva Maharaj asked this kind of benediction, Padam Tribhu Notkrushtam Jigisho Sadhu Vartmame Bruhi Asmat Petribir Brahman Anyair Api Anadishtitam. O Brahmana, please tell the correct method for me, desiring the best position in the three worlds, Padam Tribhuvana Utkrishtam, which has not been attained by my forefathers or others. So now the Vishnudutas are reminding, whatever was your desire, that is fulfilled. Now it is the time to obtain that. Please take it. Which your forefathers have never attained, but you have attained. Now it is the time for you to come there. Etad Vimana Pravaram
Etat
Etad
vimana pravaram
Uttama Shloka Maulina
उत्तमश्लोकमौलिना
Upastapitam Ayushman
स्थापितम् आयुष्मा
Adirodum Tvamarhasi.
Dhirodhum tam vama aharshi. Translation. O immortal one, this unique airplane has been sent by Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is worshipped by selected prayers and who is the chief of all living entities. You are quite worthy to board such a plane. Hare Krishna.
So they are telling that, oh Ayushman, oh long-lived one. That means Dhruva Maharaj will not die now. He in the self-same body will board the airplane and will go to destination. He will not die. That's why it's called as Ayushman or immortal. You are qualified to board this excellent airplane sent by the best of famous persons, Lord Vishnu, Uttama Shloka Maulina. Lord Vishnu had sent this airplane to bring you to his own abode. Please board. Ayushman, long lived, indicates that he will go in the self same body to the abode of Lord Vishnu. Maitreya Uvacha.
Maitreya
Maitreya
Vacha.
Uvat
Nishamya Vaikunta Niyojya Mukyayor.
Nisamya Vaikunta Niyoja Mukhyayor.
Madhuchutam Vacha Murukrama Priya.
Madhuchutam Vacham Urukrama Priya.
Kritabhisheka Krita Nitya Mangalo.
Kritabhisheka Krita Nitya Mangalo.
Munin pranamya shishamabhyavadayat.
Munin pranamyasisam abhyavadayat. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, Maharaja Dhruva was very dear to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When he heard the sweet speeches of the Lord's chief associates in Vaikunta planet, he immediately took his sacred bath, dressed himself with suitable ornaments, and performed his daily spiritual duties. Thereafter, he offered his respectful obeisances to the great sages present there and accepted their blessings.
On hearing the honey words of the two associates from Vaikunta, Nanda and Upananda, Nanda and Sunanda, Dhruva, dear to the Supreme Lord, took his bath, performed his daily rituals, offered respects to the sages who are living in the same Badrikashram area, and had them bless him. So Dhruva Maharaj immediately went to the nearby river, took bath, and performed Achman and also applied Tilak, all these things, and he went and took the blessings of all these wonderful great sages who are performing the austerities in the Dhruvaloka, I thought in the Himalayas, Badrikashram area, and then he had come close to airplane. Niyojya means servants, Madhuchutam means flowing with honey. So he had took the blessings of all the sages who are also performing along with Dhruva in that Badrikashram area. Parit, parit, Parityabhyarcha Dishnagram.
Parichabrayada Dishyagram
Parshadav Abhivandya cha.
Arshadav Abhivandya cha
Yesha tad abhishtatum.
Yatat Adhishtatum
Hibrudrupam hiranmayam.
Vipradarupam Hiranmayam. Translation. Before getting abroad, Dhruva Maharaj worshipped the airplane, circumambulated it, and also offered obeisances to the associates of Vishnu. In the meantime, he became as brilliant and illuminating as molten gold. He thus completely prepared to board the transcendental plane. Sorry.
So he took bath, did Achaman, wore fresh clothes, and offered obeisances to all the great sages. He came near to the airplane. He circumambulated and worshipped the airplane, offered respects to the two associates of Lord Vishnu, and assuming a golden form, Bibrud Hiranmayam Rupam, he desired to board the plane. That means, as he was about to board the plane, his body transformed into spiritual body, something like that. He circled the plane and then worshipped it by offering sandalwood and flowers, saying, Bhagavad Vimanaya Namaha. Assuming a golden form, he desired to board the plane. So he worshipped it and he was about to board the plane. Then what happened? Tadottana pada putro
Tadottanapada putro
tadarshantakamagatam
dadarshantagamaagatam
mrutyormurdni padam datva
mrityormurdini prapadam tat datva
arurohadbhutam gruham.
arurohadbhutam graham. Translation. When Dhruva Maharaj was attempting to get on the transcendental plane, he saw death personified approach him. Not caring for death, however, he took advantage of the opportunity to put his feet on the head of death, and thus he got up on the airplane, which was as big as house. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, at that time, as Dhruva was about to board the airplane, Dhruva saw the death personified approaching him, placing his foot on the head of death personified. Dhruva boarded that astounding abode. So normally, when anyone has to transmigrate, we have to leave this body behind, and then the soul passes to the next place. In order to take the soul to Yamaraj, the death personified will come, or Yamadutas or death personified, someone will come. Same way here, he is coming. But Dhruva is going to board that Vaikuntha plane. He came and he was offering obeisances to Dhruva, and Dhruva took that opportunity. He put his feet on the head of this death personified and climbed onto the Vaikuntha Vimana. So like that. So then Vaikuntha Vimana started for the abode of Lord Vishnu. The Kshirodakshaya Vishnu resides in today what we call Dhruvaloka. That is actually the abode of Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. To that abode, Dhruva is started his journey. Tada dundubayo nedur
Tada dundubayo nedor
mrudanga panavadayaha
mridanga panavadayaha
gandharva mukya prajaguhu
gandharva mukya prajaguhu
petuhu kushuma vrishtayaha.
Ketuku Kusuma Vrishtayaha. All the time, drums and kettle drums resounded from the sky, and the chief Gandharvas began to sing, and other demigods showered flowers like torrents of rain upon Dhruva Maharaja.
As Dhruva traveled from Badrikashram to Dhruvaloka, passing through Bhuvarloka and Swargaloka, all the residents of Bhuvarloka and Swargaloka, such as Gandharvas, Apsaras, Kinnaras, Kimpurushas, Vicharana, Siddha Vidyadharas, and all the other Devatas, they all began to shower flowers and play instrument and sing wonderful songs, celebrating Dhruva's journey to the abode of Lord Vishnu. They were all expressing their joy. Sacha Swarlokamaroksham
Sachasvarlokamarokshan
Sunitim Jananim Dhruva
Sunitim Jananim Dhruva
Anvasmarad Hagamitva
Anvasmarat Agam Hitva
Dhinam Yashe Trivistapam.
Deenam Yashyetri Vishtapam. Dhruva was seated in the transcendental airplane, which was just about to start, when he remembered his poor mother Suniti. He thought to himself, how shall I go alone to the Vaikuntha planet and leave behind my poor mother?
So, as Dhruva boarded and as the Vimana is going ahead, as he was ascending to the Lord's abode, as they are coming close to Lord's abode, Swarloka Makrishnam, that means they are passing through Swargaloka, and as you cross the Swargaloka, then you come to Dhruvaloka. So then when they are about to reach Dhruvaloka, Dhruva remembered his mother Suniti. Then he thought, giving up this place that no one can attain the abode of Lord Vishnu. I will go to my unfortunate mother. So he was telling that everything, whatever I am today, like all the way I've come up to the boarding the aeroplane which is taking me to Vaikuntha is all because of the mercy of my mother. How can I go alone without my mother? So no, I will go back. I will go back, like that he was thinking. I cannot, giving up my mother, I cannot go to the abode of Lord Vishnu. Though it is not attended by anybody, I cannot go there. As he was thinking like that, iti vyavasitam tasya
इति
इति
व्यवस्थितम्
व्यवस्थितं तस्य
vyavasaya surottamo
व्यवसाय सुरोत्तमो
darshayam asaturdeviim
तरसायम् अस्तो देवीं
puroyanena gacchatim.
पुरोयानेन गच्छतिम्. The great associates of Vaikuntha Loka, Nanda and Sunanda, could understand the mind of Dhruva Maharaj, and thus they showed him that his mother Suniti was going forward in another plane.
Understanding the desire of Dhruva, the two associates of Supreme Lord Nanda and Sunanda showed him that, see, your mother is traveling in that airplane, so don't worry. She is going ahead of you. Tatra tatra prasham sadbi
तत्र प्रशंसद्भिः
pati vaimanikai surai
पतिवैमानिकैसुरैः
avakiryamano dadrishe
अवकीर्यमानो ददृशे
kushumai kramasho grahan.
कुसुमै क्रमशो ग्रहान्. While Dhruva Maharaja was passing through space, he gradually saw all the planets of the solar system. And on the path, he saw all the demigods in their airplanes showering flowers upon him like rain.
While being showered with flowers here and there by different devatas, the residents of Dhruvaloka and Sargaloka, who were praising him. In another plane on that path, Dhruva saw the many planets and one after the other. As he was traveling, Dhruva saw many abodes. The abodes of Kinnaras, Kimpurshas, Gandharvas, Apsaras, Yakshas, and also Devatas, all the different Devatas, all those things he has seen on the way. Trilokim Devayanena. Hare Krishna, someone please recite.
त्रिलोकीं देवयानेन
त्रिलोकिं
So
देवयानेन
Ativraja Muninapi
सोऽतिव्रज्या मुनिन् अपि
Parastadya Dhruvagatir
परस्ताद्यद्ध्रुवगतेर्
Vishnu Padam Atabhyagat.
विष्णो पदं नताप्यगात्.
Mataji, I will read
Dhruva
the translation.
Maharaja.
I will read translation.
Okay.
Flying beyond the three worlds, Trilokam, Ativraja. He passed through three lokas. He started from Bhuloka, he passed through Bhurloka and then Swargaloka. Then, after crossing Swargaloka, he whose abode is Dhruvaloka arrived at the Lord's abode beyond the seven sages. After passing through Saptarushi Mandal, then he had come to the abode of Lord Vishnu, which will be Dhruva's abode in the future and will be known as Dhruvaloka. He finally had come to Dhruvaloka. He arrived at the abode of Lord Vishnu beyond the abodes of seven sages, Saptarushi Mandala. Dhruva is described as having the fixed goal, having Dhruvaloka as his abode. That means from then on, having come to this place now, from then on, for the entire day of Brahma, Dhruva is going to reside there. That's why it will be his abode. Dhruvaloka is situated above the sun and other planets, but below Maharloka. See the commentary on 523.9 for more details. आपको और ज़्यादा डिटेल चाहिए तो 5th canto देख लीजिए. So the glories of Dhruvaloka, the abode of the Supreme Lord. Yad Brajamanam Swaruchaiva Sarvato
Yadbrachamanam Swaruchaiva Sarvato
Lokastrayo Yano Vibrajantayete.
Lokastrayo hi anu vibrajanta ete
Yennavrajan Jantushu Nugraha.
Yannavarajan Jantushu ye ananugraha
Vrajanti Badrani Charanti Enisham.
Prajanti Badrani Charanti ye nisham.
Dhruva reached that shining abode by whose effulgence the three worlds shine. Bhuloka, Bhurloka, Sargaloka, they become effulgent by the effulgence of Dhruvaloka, which those who are not merciful do not reach. People who are not merciful can never reach Dhruvaloka, but which those who constantly engage in good actions reach. Only the pure devotees they reach the abode of Lord Vishnu, but non-devotees will never reach. It is because of Lord Vishnu who resides in Dhruvaloka. The sun shines, moon shines, and other stars shine. All that illumination, everything is coming because of Lord Vishnu. That Lord Vishnu is residing in Dhruvaloka. So that is the understanding. By the shining of that abode, that means by the shining of Lord Vishnu is residing in Dhruvaloka, all other abodes are shining. So in that way. So in the Bhagavad Gita we see na तत्र सूर्यो भाति न चंद्र तारकम नेम विद्युतो भाति कुतोन्यम अग्नि तमेव बांतम अनुभाति सर्वम तस्य भाषा सर्वमिदं विभाति. What was that verse in the Bhagavad Gita 15th chapter? न तद् भाषेते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावक यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धामा परमं मम. So in that way. So this is Lord's abode. Here sunlight is not required, moonlight is not required. Instead, because of Lord and Lord's abode, the sun shines and moon shines and stars shine, Agni gives light and all. So that is the understanding. Because Lord Vishnu is residing here, it is because of Lord Vishnu is the maintainer of the entire universe. In order to maintain the entire universe, the sun is shining and the moon is shining, the stars are shining, the planets are shining, all these things are happening. So all of them are receiving their ability to shine from Lord Vishnu only, who is residing in this Dhruvaloka. That is the glory of this Dhruvaloka, because it is the abode of Lord Vishnu. In that abode of Lord Vishnu, Dhruva is going to stay for the entire day of Brahma from now on. Santa Samadrusha Suhruda Shuddha
Shanta Samdrishta Suddha
Sarva Bhutanurranjana
Sarvabhutanuranjana
Yanti Anjaschachuta Padam
Yanti Anjasakchuta Padam
Achyuta Priya Bandhava.
Achyuta Priya Bandavaha.
So here he said that the friends of the Lord, Achyuta Priya Bandhava, those who are peaceful, seeing all things equally, pure and pleasing to all beings, easily go to the abode of Supreme Lord. So now Dhruva is gone to Dhruvaloka. But who can go to Dhruvaloka? Who practices all these sadhana items can also go to the same Dhruvaloka. The procedure to go to Dhruvaloka is also kind of indicated here. And also, iti uttana pada putro.
iti uttana padra putro.
Dhruva Krishna Parayana.
Dhruva Krishna Parayana.
Abhutrayanam Lokanam.
Putranam Lokanam.
Chudamanir Ivamala.
Chudamanir Iva Malaha.
Thus, pure Dhruva, son of Uttanapada, who was surrendered to Lord Krishna, was the crest jewel of the three planetary systems. So now, Dhruva has entered into Dhruvaloka and he has become the master of Dhruvaloka. And as a result of that, he has become the crest jewel of the three lokas, Bhuloka, Bhurloka, and Swargaloka. Till now, Lord Vishnu was the crest jewel of three lokas, but now onward, Dhruva is the crest jewel of three lokas. He is the head of the Dhruvaloka. So, in that way. Gambhira Vego Nimisham
गम्भीरवेगो निमिषम्
Jyotisham Chakramahitam
ज्योतिषां चक्रमाहितम्
Yasmin Brahmanti Kauravya
यस्मिन् भ्रमन्ति कौरव्य
Medhyam Iva Gavam Gana.
नित्याम् इवं गवां गणः
O Vidura,
Translation.
O Vidura, around him, matlab around Dhruvaloka, the zodiac belt with planets and stars circles incessantly, that means continuously, like a herd of bulls going around a central pillar with great speed. Basically, Dhruvaloka acts like the pivot for the motion, for the movement of all the Navagrahas, 12 zodiac signs, 27 nakshatras, and unlimited Taraka. They are all continuously revolving around pole star. So, in that way, the Dhruvaloka, the pole star, established by the Lord, which is the pivot of all the luminaries, the planets and constellations, which are made to rotate constantly around it like the bulls tied to a central pole by the inconceivable force of Lord's time energy, and it continuously shines. So basically, Dhruvaloka is acting as a pivot for all the luminaries and they circumambulate around Dhruvaloka every day, making one round, traveling at high speeds. So that is understanding. Mahimanam vilokyasya
Mahinaanam Vilokshasya
Narado Bhagavan Rishi
Narado Bhagavan Rishi
Atodhyam Vitudan Shlokan
Atodhyam Vitudam Slokan
Satre Ghayat Prachetasam.
Tatre Ghayat Prachetasam.
So celebrating that Dhruva had attained Dhruvaloka, the abode of Lord Vishnu, Narada Muni that time seems to be in the company of 10 Prachetas. So maybe in the future, when he will be in the company of Prachetas, he will glorify the achievement of Dhruva in a glorified, in a proper, in a wonderful way. Seeing the glories of Dhruva, Narada playing on his veena sang verses in the sacrificial arena Prachetas. Later on, in the association of Prachetas, Narada Muni will describe the wonderful glories of Dhruva Maharaj. So 3-4 verses talks about what did Narada Muni say in the assembly of Prachetas. Narada Uvacha
Narada Uvacha
Nunam Sunite Patidevatayas
Nunam Sunite Patidevatayas
Tapa Prabhavasya Sutasya Tam Gatim
Tapa Prabhasya Sutasya Tam Gatim
Drishtvabyupayan Api Vedavadina
Drishtva Abhivedavadino
Nivadigantum Prabhavanti Kim Rupa.
Nivadigatam Prabhavanti Kim.
So Narada Muni says, followers of the Vedas want to speak of kings seeing the goal attained by chaste Suniti's son, who was the personification of severe austerity, could not obtain the method by which he attained the goal. What to speak of the attainment? So, the Veda Vadaratas, the followers of the Veda, the teachers, the students of the Vedas, they speak about Dhruva's sadhana and Dhruva's perfection. But they can neither attain the sadhana of Dhruva nor attain the destination of Dhruva. It is very difficult. What Dhruva attained is very rare. Even those who constantly study the Vedas and describe the Vedas and chant the Vedas, Veda mantras and all, they may talk about Dhruva's sadhana and Dhruva's perfection, but they can't practice like Dhruva. Then what to speak of they attaining like Dhruva? So that is not possible. Dhruva was personification of severe austerities. Even on seeing his attainment, sages want to speak of kings could not attain the historic pastimes of that attainment. The sages say that what Dhruva attained, no other kings attained. But even the one who is speaking, they also cannot attain. It is that difficult because Dhruva attained it because Dhruva is known considered as personified form of tapasya. Only he could perform that kind of tapasya. It's very difficult. The first month, once in 3 days, eating some berries. Second month, once in 6 days, eating some dry leaves. Third month, once in 9 days, drinking little water. Fourth month, once in 12 days, breathing. Fifth month, once in 15 days, breathing. Sixth month, only once in a month, breathing. So, like the no breathing only stops. That is very difficult. यः पञ्चवर्षो गुरुदारवाक्षरैर्
य पञ्चवर्षो गुरुदारवाक्षरैर्
भिन्नेन यातो हृदयेन धूयता
भिन्नेन यातो हृदयेन धूयता
वनं मदादेशकरो जितं प्रभुम्
वनं मद् आदेशकरो जितं प्रभुम्
जिघाय तद्भक्तगुणैः प्रराजितम्
जिगाय तद्भक्तगुणैः पराजितम्.
When Dhruva was 5 years old, he went to the forest because his heart was burned, pierced by the sharp words of his stepmother. And following my instructions, Nardamuni is saying, that's why he says, following my instructions, Dhruva conquered the unconquerable Lord, Ajitam Prabhum Jighaya, who is conquered by the qualities of his devotees. Tad Bhakta Gunai Parajitam. So, in that way. What kind of qualities will attract Lord? Daya sarva bhuteshu santushtayena kenava sarvendriyopashantya cha tushyati ashu janardana. These are some of the qualities which please the Lord very quickly. The Lord is quickly pleased by a person showing mercy to all beings, by being satisfied by whatever comes on its own accord, and by controlling all the senses. Here Narada mentions a few favorable qualities in worshipping the Lord. So like that. Then finally what Narada said? Yakshatra bandhur tasyadirudam
यक्षत्रबन्धोर्भुवि धीरुडम्
anu arurukshedapi varshapuge
अनु आरुरुक्षेत् अपि वर्षभोगैः
षट् पञ्चवर्षो यदहो बिरल्पै
षट्पञ्चवर्षो यदहोभिरल्पैः
प्रसाद्य वैकुण्ठ अवाप तत्पदम्
प्रसाद्य वैकुण्ठम् अवाप तत्पदम्.
A so-called Kshatriya, Kshatrabandhu, should desire to attain the position of Dhruva, but cannot attain it even after many years. Because Dhruva, when only 5 or 6 years old, after only few days, that means 6 months, pleased the Lord and attained his abode. Dhruva is a Kshatriya, attained the Lord in 6 months. But any other Kshatriya, any other so-called Kshatriya, even after spending many years of tapasya, will not attain what Dhruva attained. That is the glory of Dhruva Maharaj. Even the best Kshatriya is not the lowest compared to Dhruva. He desires to attain that position, but can he attain it even after many years? In comparison to Dhruva Maharaj, any other Kshatriya who may be best in the worldly norms, but comparison to Dhruva is insignificant because Dhruva attained abode of Lord Vishnu in 6 months at the age of 5. Will they attain it? So like that. So now that is what is all about Dhruva's pastime and the glories of Dhruva which Narada Muni sings in the assembly of Prachetas. Now the chapter is ended. Last 10 verses are all talking about Falashruti. What are the benedictions that one receives by hearing this entire section of Bhagavatam? I mean, this entire section of Dhruva Maharaj. So in that way. Maitreya
Prabhuji, one
Uvacha.
question can I ask?
Mataji, please.
Prabhuji, I didn't quite understand the mood of Dhruva Maharaj while stepping on the Yamaraja's head. What this indicates?
Matlab, can you repeat? I did not
Because
follow your question.
previously, what was the mood of Dhruva Maharaja? Because previously he uh, paid all respects and obeisances to all the rishis and all, but he stepped on the head of the Yamaraj. So what is the thing that I didn't understand?
And no, basically the point is, normally whenever who leaves this world or something like that, who transmigrate, they will die. The death takes place under the supervision of death personified. So he has come. That person but came here assuming that Dhruva will give up the body and assume a spiritual body and go.
But
that did,
he was to go in the same body, no?
Dhruva went in the same body. He did not change.
So what was the significance? I didn't understand.
No significance. That is, see, one thing is so special that he could travel in the self same body. That's all. He don't have to give up the material body and assume a spiritual body and travel. Not like that. He travel in the self same body. That is his specialty.
Okay.
So it is metaphorically, no, Prabhuji?
Not like that. It's real.
Actual stepping, like physically.
Oh, that is also he has come because he comes. The death person for comes there. He is there. He comes for everyone. See, for some to take to Yamaloka, for some to bid farewell. For Dhruva, he has come to bid farewell. You can say.
But Dhruva is so humble and he's so advanced in bhakti. How can he step his leg on the Yamaraja's head?
Okay. That particular thing we can take it as metaphorical, as Mataji suggested. Stepping on death means he did not accept death. That means he did not die. In the self same body, he ascended Vaikuntha Vimana. That is as good as stepping. So that is like metaphorical we can take. So we don't know exactly whether he really put his feet on the head or whether it is a metaphorical. But in any case, both can be considered.
Okay, Prabhu. Okay.
Yeah. Any other devotees have any question?
Vishnu Guruji.
Prabhuji.
The time when Dhruva Maharaj was 5 years old, at that time he left, na?
No. When he was 5 years old, he went to forest, performed tapasya. He had darshan. He came back home and he was trained by his father for 16 years. When he became 16 years old, his father made him king and father went to Vanaprasada to perform austerities went to forest. And then Dhruva ruled for 36,000 years. Now he came to Himalayas, that Badrikashram. Then he performed severe austerities. Then Vimana came. Now he is boarding. Now his age is 36,000 years plus 16 years plus few months. Okay? They are all telling that you attain this blessing when you are 5 years old only. That time only Lord told. First to rule the entire Bhumandala for 36,000 years, then come to my abode. I will give you that. For the entire day of Brahma. So now Dhruva had come going to Dhruvaloka and he will continue to stay there for the entire day of Brahma. Till the end of the current day of Brahma, he will stay there. Then, along with Kshirodakshaya Vishnu, at the end of the day of Brahma, when there is huge pralaya, the 14 lokas are destroyed, that time, Dhruva will go to Vaikuntha, Paravyoma, spiritual world. It is like that. Okay. So quickly, just 5 minutes, we'll just briefly read through the translations because these are all Falashruti only. So if one hears attentively, one reads attentively, one describes attentively, one meditates on the pastimes of Dhruva, there will be some immediate benefits, but the long-term benefit is if one hears this pastime and follows in the footsteps of Dhruva Maharaj, will also go to the abode where Dhruva attained, Dhruvaloka, the abode of Lord Vishnu. So that is a final blessing. For that, one should follow in the footsteps of Dhruva Maharaj. So in that way. So Maitreya is saying, as you have asked, my dear Vidura, I have explained to you everything about the activities of the most famous Dhruva, which are celebrated by the great devotees. Then he says, for persons desiring wealth, fame, long life, pious credits, good fortune, great position in heaven, by hearing repeatedly with faith the praiseworthy activities of Dhruva dear to the Lord, which allow one to attain Dhruvaloka, and which are suitable even for the Devatas and destroy all sins, but to the Lord which destroys all miseries develops. So our Vidura Maitreya says that even if somebody comes to satsang program and hears Dhruva Katha, when they come, they may have a desire to get some wealth, fame, long life, pious credits, good fortune, great position in heaven, etc. etc. Whether they may get all these things or not, we don't know. But if they hear attentively this pastime of Dhruva, three things will happen. Sinful reaction will be destroyed. Okay, Bhakti will manifest, and eventually they'll go to the abode of Dhruva Maharaj. That is Dhruvaloka. That is Vaikuntha, abode of Lord Vishnu in one sense. So one may hear this pastime with a hope that okay, if I hear I'll get wealth, if I hear I get fame, if I hear I get long life. Whether they may get all these things or we don't know, but they'll get three things: freedom from sinful reactions, bhakti, and travel to Dhruvaloka, abode of Dhruva Maharaj. Dhanyam means for desiring wealth. Dravyam means it enables one to attain Dhruvaloka. Saumanasyam means suitable for devatas. This pastime is suitable for the devatas to hear and recite. Even the devatas who are already there in Swargaloka, even they also, when hear and recite this pastime, they will get entry into Dhruvaloka. The bhakti, having heard the activities of Dhruva, develops. Whoever hears this pastime, bhakti will develop in their heart. After purifying the heart, bhakti will manifest. With that bhakti, one day one will go to abode of Dhruva. So like that. This is the main falashruti is that one. But other things are mentioned because that is what people are attracted to. So in that way. For those desiring greatness, hearing about Dhruva is the cause of greatness. Hearing about Dhruva, the hearer develops good qualities. For those desiring power, hearing about Dhruva is the cause of power. For those who are intelligent, hearing about Dhruva is the cause of respect. So those who want to become great, they'll become great. Those who want to develop good quality, they develop good qualities. Those who want to get power, they get power. And those who want to get respect, they'll get respect. All these things will happen by hearing the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj. One should recite this, therefore, one should recite this great story of famous Dhruva attentively in the morning and in the evening in the company of Brahmanas. So in the company of, therefore, if at all one wants all these desires fulfilled, one should recite this Dhruva Charitra both in the morning and evening in the company of Brahmanas, Sajjanas. Then one can get the results, definitely. A person who has taken shelter of the Lord should make those with faith hear this story. So now, first of all, for one's own benefit, one can hear and get benefit. In order to distribute that benefit to all, one should organize the facility to hear this Dhruva Katha. One should conduct a program so that people in general can hear Dhruva Charitra. A person who has taken shelter of the Lord should make those with faith hear the story. A devotee who has taken shelter of the Supreme should arrange all the arrangements so that many people can come and hear Dhruva Katha. And when they should arrange all these programs? On the full moon day, on the Paurnami day, on the Amavasya day, or on the Dvadashi day, and during the month of Shravana, on the Kshetiti day, Vyatipata days, on Sankrantis like Mesh Sankranti, Vrishabha, Mithuna Sankranti, etc. And on Sundays, satisfying himself by himself without desire for profit, one attains perfection. So whoever coordinates, organizes a program on these particular days, when especially on the Amavasya, Paurnami, Dwadashi, in the month of Shravana, and during the Kshetithis, and on the Vetipata days, and the Sankranti days, and Sundays. So one should organize the program, and by hearing these pastimes on those days, the organizer will go to Dhruvaloka, the hearers will go to Dhruvaloka. So one should not accept payment or other articles. So when one organizes this event, they should not accept payment, or they should not accept any articles in the form of donation, because one satisfies the self by the self. When one does selflessly, then only one can satisfy the Supreme Lord. If one organizes a program by collecting donations, one does not receive the mercy of the Supreme Lord. The devotee in making others hear things, this devotee is hearing with faith the topic of the Lord Krishna that I am reciting. That is my payment. In this way, one attains perfection. Whether it may be the speaker, whether it may be the coordinator, the both of them should think that these devotees are hearing it attentively, that itself is my payment. So then one should not ask for other payment. So such a person will attain perfection easily. Such a coordinator, such a speaker. So that is understanding. So there is some technical information. A Kshetiti is a solar day in which a particular lunar tithi does not start before sunrise or finished before next sunrise. So basically during early morning sunrise time, whichever tithi is there, that day considered to be that tithi. Sometimes we see that there is Dashami and there is Dwadashi. Ekadashi missed. On the Dwadashi we perform Ekadashi. So something like that happens. Sankranti, the day when sun enters into a new zodiac sign. Vetipata days are the new moon day falling on a Sunday, or when the moon is in certain constellations. So Vetipata is like a new moon day means Pratipad. When Pratipad comes on Sunday, or when Pratipad comes in particular constellations, that is called as Vetipata. So some technical details. So finally, the Devatas do not give obstacles to the merciful protector of the wretched, who gives immortal knowledge to the ignorant on the path of truth. So just like the previous verse talks about organizing or facilitating a program so that people in general can get to hear Krishna Katha, organize a program and speak Krishna Katha, and speak especially Dhruva Charitra. So all those people who hear, if more the people hear, the more the blessings the organizer, the speaker will get. So that is the understanding. But the organization should be done without collecting any payment, without accepting any donations. The same way, if a person leads one's life like that, always bestowing compassion upon all others, the devatas do not give obstacles to such a person, and such a person very quickly will go to abode of Dhruva Maharaj. So it is like that. Such a selfless person will never receive any obstacles from anybody. If making people hear knowledge which gives liberation gives such a person such a great result, making people hear about Dhruva will certainly give a greater result. So basically, by sharing Brahmajnana, one receives Sahajya Mukti. Similarly, by sharing Bhagavad Jnana or by sharing Bhakti, one will go to Vaikuntha. That is the understanding. And then, O best of the Kurus, I have told you the story of pure famous activities of Dhruva, who has a child giving up playthings and the house of his mother took shelter of Lord Vishnu. Why this point is again spoken again and again, child, 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 because no child can do what Dhruva did. It is not a normal thing. That's why Dhruva becomes a special person in the eyes of everyone. Dhruva and Prahlada, both of them became special because normal children at that age of 5 years old are only interested in playing and eating here and there, roaming and all. They are not interested in bhakti and all. But Dhruva and Prahlada did, which normally Small kids don't do. That's why these two are considered, because they have done more than what they could do. That's why they are special. They are glorified. They are wonderful. They are exceptional. So this is how the glories of Dhruva have been indicated. So I'm sorry, we've taken a little extra time, thought of completing this section. So yes, chapter is complete. So you please read this entire section starting from chapter 8 all the way up to chapter 12, total 5 chapters. And next Sunday we will have exam. Hare Krishna. Next Sunday there is exam for this section. And then the Sunday after that we'll continue the next section. What happens afterwards, we'll see. हरे कृष्णा. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय. शिल प्रभुपाद की जय. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव भक्तवृंद की जय. हरे कृष्णा. थैंक यू वेरी मच. दंडवत प्रणाम पूज्य. हरे कृष्णा.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Thank you.
हाँ, हरे कृष्णा. Actually today I wanted to complete the chapter, that